Alright, so I bet you're wondering, wow, where's the guitar? What's this project looking like? Why am I looking at this really interesting piece of art in front of me? Well, I made this with Dolly as a cool little backdrop as I talk through what I'm about to say. I spent a lot of time editing and filming the epoxy, the tabletop epoxy that I use from Total Boats, and it was honestly a waste of time, and it sucked, and I did not like the product. So I'm not going to bore you with all that footage. Um, what I did find out through all of it, I'll kind of show you what I ended up with here in a second, my end product. Of the 3+ coats of epoxy that I ended up putting on it, I found a product called 2K Spray Max and then Car Rep 2K. Pretty much they're like two-part polyurethane catalyzers that like are great. They're aerosol, so you can spray them on. They're incredibly tough, incredibly durable, and I should have just used these from the beginning. I didn't know about them. They're what people use on cars if they're doing cars themselves, so it's incredibly durable, incredibly easy to use, applies within a day, and you can polish it overnight. So you can get stunning results in a short amount of time, and I should have used this stuff instead of the tabletop epoxy. It took me like weeks. It felt like weeks to apply this darn stuff, and it turned out terribly, and it was so temperature sensitive. I would never recommend this to anyone. You'd have to have professional equipment to really make it work well, and I just had terrible luck with it. It was too hot on the days that I did it in my garage, so I tried moving inside into the AC, and even still it did stuff that I didn't want it to do. So it's not too terrible. It looks fine in my opinion in person. It's kind of cool. It has a wavy texture, but not the desired texture or look I wanted at all. But I'll kind of get into it here. I'll show you a little bit of the end product, and then I'll do a little playthrough. Okay, so I decided against buffing this, mostly because I looked up processes for buffing, and I don't have the equipment or the money to put into good buffing equipment. So I think I'm going to keep it glossy like this, because I already have that glossy shine that I want. It's just like a little wavy, and it doesn't bother me that much. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. I touched up the spots that really bothered me with some extra resin, and so I feel like the guitar is at a spot where I'm very happy with it, and if I end up getting that equipment later, because I am going to be working on more guitar projects, then I will come back, revisit this, and fix her up nice. But anyway, I did find out, before I close this part off, I found out that there's this stuff called Crystal Clear 2K. I'll try to link it in the description. But it is a way better product to use than this tabletop epoxy, which I will never use because it is just the worst thing to deal with. The drying times take forever. It's so hard to work with and work and get smooth, and you have to do so much work afterwards. So I'll never do a guitar like this again, but I'll definitely try that 2K. I've seen a few guys, or one of the guys I've been watching now, he recommends it. And so I might link one of his videos just to show how it all works. But I'm going to start assembling this guitar, and I'll try to get a demo in place for you. Stay tuned. Alright, I'm soldering it all back together now. I put in this copper tape because it helps with insulation in terms of keeping ground hum and stuff like that out. So I thought, you know, while I have the guitar this far apart, I might as well put some copper tape in there. I've done it on some of my other guitars before, and I do notice a difference. I did it on the top plate as well, so that way it really seals in the flavor. So we'll get rolling with this, and then I'll string her up and show you how she looks. Well, here we are. Final product time. You get to see the front of it here, see some of the cleanup work that I did. I got to film this at my church, which was kind of cool. But final thoughts. Some closing remarks. Definitely not use the tabletop epoxy. If I were you, I would just find that 2K clear coat stuff. Make sure to wear a mask whenever using it and be super safe. Use well ventilation because it will kill you. It actually tells you that, so just read the instructions and learn how to use it first before using it. But it would be a lot faster and a lot quicker, a lot less messy, and wouldn't ruin your sweet paint job you did to your guitar. by adding bumps. Another thing I'd like to add is me putting in the whenever I was pouring the guitar, pouring the back and the front, back first and front was a good idea, but I should have not have moved the paint around on the back by tilting the guitar. That really messed up. Whenever I was doing the front, that really messed up the back of the guitar, the work that I did there. That was really unfortunate. Don't use a fan to dry your paints or keep it cool, because the fan will dry the paint on top first and then cause cracking, and you just don't want that. And yeah, and just have fun with it too. Choose your color pattern beforehand, so if you're able to test on a scrap piece of whatever, I would say do that. Test on a scrap piece, and then see if the colors work for you, because it took me a while to find the right colors. I'd also add doing the screws, like how I had bolts, through bolts. Whenever I put my guitar together, I would mention that you just put a screw in instead, on like 2 screws in instead of the bolts, because the bolts got stuck whenever I was removing it and kind of chipped off some of the paint. So yeah, just be prepared for whatever happens, but have fun and enjoy the product at the end, because it's kind of sweet. So I still have to make a little bit of changes to my guitar after I made the demo and stuff. I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking, because I didn't get it back together properly, 100% properly. So I just have some neck stuff I got to work on, and some difference between hiding and fretting and stuff like that with the strings. So it's all together a very fun project, and I will definitely do this again if I had the time. All right, thanks for watching.